it. It's Friday, it's lesson 5, and we are almost done with this standard. Congratulations on making it all the way here. So, as you know, we've been working on comparing and contrasting details in literary and informational nonfiction text. Today I'm going to introduce you to a little bit of fiction text just so that I can make sure you can differentiate between the two, and to show you that we're not always comparing and contrasting for informational details. Sometimes it is text structure or how the text is written that shows us something different between the two. I wanted to talk about our full week learning targets. We've had an I can statement from the past that is this very top one. I can compare and contrast details in informational nonfiction texts. That's what we've been working on, but we've also included some really important and serious skills among that individual standard. So the other two learning targets I want you guys to really master are I can differentiate between different genres of text, such as nonfiction, fiction, and poetry, and I can effectively practice and demonstrate the skill of close reading. Those two skills will come up again and again in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, even college. So make sure that you are paying attention and figuring out how to master these awesome concepts. As always, we will review the vocabulary. We have fiction, nonfiction, compare and contrast, details, close reading, gist, Venn diagram, and now genre. Genre is new, but it shouldn't be that new for you. You might have heard it with someone asking you, what's your favorite genre of music? And you might say rap, or rock, or country, or hip-hop, or whatever you're into. That is a similar concept to your favorite genre of literature, which could be graphic novels, or poetry, historical fiction, autobiographies. It's simply different types of something. So, today, like I said, we're going to look at two different types of genres of literature. This past week, we've looked strictly at informational nonfiction text, and that's very important because that's our standard. But let's figure out how comparing those texts is different than comparing other genres of text. I'm going to show you two poems by the same person. We're going to read through the first one, read through the second one, and then look at them side by side. I need you to go and get your pen and pencil and all of your notes from last week because you're going to be using a portion of your paper to write down all the differences and similarities you can find between these two poems. First up, we have A Late Walk by Robert Frost. When I go up through the mowing field, the headless aftermath, smooth laid like thatch with the heavy dew, half closes the garden path. And when I come to the garden ground, the whir of sober birds, up from the tangle of withered weeds, is sadder than any words. A tree beside the wall stands bare, but a leaf that lingered brown, disturbed, I doubt not, by my thought, comes softly rattling down. I end not far from my going forth by picking the faded blue of the last remaining aster flower to carry again to you. Pause, don't write anything yet. I'm going to read you another one, a similar one by the same man, called A Prayer in Spring by Robert Frost. Oh, give us pleasure in the flowers today, and give us not to think so far away, as the uncertain harvest keep us here, all simply in the springing of the year. Oh, give us pleasure in the orchard white, like nothing else by day, like ghosts by night, and make us happy in the happy bees, the swarm dilating round the perfect trees. And make us happy in the darting bird that suddenly above the bees is heard, the meteor that thrusts in with needle bill, and off a blossom in mid-air stand still. For this is love, and nothing else is love, the which it is reserved for God above, to sanctify to what far ends he will, but which it only needs that we fulfill. On your sheets, I'd like you to write down in one column, everything similar between the two poems, in another column, everything different. Whatever you wrote on your paper is fine as long as it's going along the tangent of both poems have to do with spring, with nature, with changing seasons, and both poems have different tones or moods. This can be as simple as happy and sad. I'm going to show you a small example of someone writing a paragraph explaining the difference between these two poems. I want you to pay attention to the words they use when comparing and contrasting the two poems. Examine the mood and tone. Two poems by the same author can have similar or different moods and tones. For example, you might compare and contrast two poems by the same author, such as A Prayer in Spring and A Late Walk by Robert Frost. The poems are similar because both focus on the wonders of nature and the changing seasons. However, A Prayer in Spring has a cheerful, delightful tone and a peaceful, grateful mood. Conversely, A Late Walk has a melancholy, somber tone and a depressing, pessimistic mood. Frost effectively differentiates the beauty of spring in one with the barrenness, emptiness, of fall in the other. Notice how the author uses really specific words to show you what they're comparing and what they're contrasting, much like those paragraphs we looked at yesterday. It says, however, conversely. It shows that what I'm about to say is different from what I said before. And it kind of sets you up as a reader to be able to very easily note where the differences are. Go ahead and on your notes, please write down 3 words under compare and 3 words under contrast that you can use when writing to compare and contrast text. For compare, you may write in the same way, both, and similarly. For contrast, go ahead and write unlike, on the other hand, and however. These are words that you should commit to memory and words that will really help you write expository or argumentative essays in the future. Alright guys, that's all from me this week. It's been really fun doing this for the past 5 days and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'm going to show you some further practice. If you can sign in via Clever using your RPS login, you can use this link right here, www.vocabulary.com/unit/compare and contrast. They have all sorts of practice that is really effective and clear, and their videos explain things really well. I hope you have a beautiful, safe weekend, and I really appreciate you working with me this week. Have a good one.